I'm broke the boss, I flipped the script. Super Trucker Podcast got me fully equipped. Left the noise behind, now I'm stacking green. Voyager Nation made me live the dream.
Money lies versus money reality. Welcome to Owner-Operator Business 101. So here I'm going to be questioning Christian, 25 years in trucking, seen a lot of owner-operators, a lot of them who succeeded, and unfortunately a few that haven't. And we're going to interrogate him on what's the difference between the two. So what's the biggest financial misconception new owner-operators have?
I think that they're shocked that trucking is actually, the margins are a lot smaller than they think. And then they start to realize this is a penny business. And I just don't mean you're making pennies. I mean, the money is in the fuel savings if you have that app. The money is also negotiating your fixed cost, insurance. You know, what is it that you're going to be paying on a truck by taking the best options that are available to you. So, you know, there's money on the table in those fixed costs. And this is a penny business, as they say.
All right. So how many people chasing 10,000 weeks can't explain their cost per mile?
I think that's a lot, man. That's more rampant than a lot of people think. And I just don't want to break it down to the cost per mile, but just even the fundamental where, you know, we've seen in the past where the guy does minimal maintenance on his truck just to kind of get through this week or maybe even today. But how are we talking about making 10K if you don't even trust the truck you're in? Like in your subconscious, you know you cannot go way over there, and now you know it becomes a new battle. So you know we've had a couple people that break down, you know, out of state, and then have to fly back, tow the truck back, and in this they continue to do work on that truck rather than just to say, you know what, it's time to hang this one up because it's more important to be consistent and get another truck if you're going to stay in the game. And now you got some reliability behind you, and you wouldn't have this type of pressure.
So would you say? Would you say a lot of people actually, instead of planning on something that can be very consistent and reachable, gamble way too much on some of those one-off perfect weeks, and we're just waiting for that perfect time in the timeline when those perfect weeks we're just gonna line up for them and never expire?
Yeah, because I think what's happening is they're getting in line for those perfect weeks under their conditions, under their willingness of what areas they're gonna do, how many miles, their home time, and so they're waiting for somebody to come to them to save the day, when you actually just have to massage the market and figure out, you know, where you're gonna fit in to meet your financial needs for your business.
Yeah, I agree. So why do dreamers focus on gross revenue while achievers obsess over net? Because
I think achievers are obsessed with the net is because that's what you solve the problems with at the house. You really got to see what you're doing. So you constantly see this over reefer and dry van, right? So somebody with reefer is going to boast, hey, look what I grossed, you know, compared to a dry van. Yeah, that's good. However, what are you taking home? Because that's what you solve problems with, right? So you got all this movement, but perhaps no progress. Because if you can do something different with less liability on your plate, but take home, you know, even if it's $200 less or the same, you're already winning because your exposure is that much less. So I think it's that. I think it's you know, kind of paying attention to that net number, because now you can also focus on, you know, what's my cost? What is the fuel doing for me? You know, what is my insurance the best right now? Oh shit, I bought this truck 3 years ago and I haven't updated the physical damage. Like all these micro things add up in your business on week after week.
All right. So what's the fastest way an owner-operator burns through savings?
Man, I hate to say it. I know that I'm gonna, you know, it's gonna sting a lot of people, but it's trying to keep that horse alive. Like sometimes you gotta know when to walk away from a truck, as difficult as it can be. I know you guys been through a lot of shit together and all of that, but at some point, the maintenance on that bad boy is just it's over. And I've seen that bleed people out of business.
And I would add to this also, not just you know, that deadline that approaches where this truck is going to expire, but also the way certain maintenance and repairs are being made. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, I've seen people spending like tens of thousands of dollars in tires just to constantly run with a dry, rotten tires.
Right, yeah.
And that also affects their time, their cost of tires, the income potential, the fuel economy, all that stuff. And we choose, instead of making the right decision and just kind of like swapping all the tires, keeping them in good shape, making sure we are properly inflated and so on, low drag tires, we keep on changing one rotten tire for another, and now every week we have one or two blowouts just because this is what we use, and we in this loop of nothingness.
Yeah, because even on a bigger scale, you know, not too long ago we had that one guy where, you know, hey, it's the DEF, you know, it's the block, it's $4,000, $6,000, $8,000 here, so $20,000 later, trying to keep that truck alive. That's That's way more money than you need to go get a truck into Low Mountain. And the payments for the whole year would have been taken care of.
Yeah, 100%. So how many people think we are profitable but actually aren't?
I think a lot of people that are going to look at like week to week, because they'll have a good week, let's say, and then they head out to celebrate that bad boy, and then they don't work for a week. And so you got to look at the long run. It's kind of interesting, right? You'll see a guy that comes into the market, boom, balls to the wall, makes a little bit of dough, goes on that vacation, comes back, and you got a lot of this where the guy's slow and steady. Because he's going low key, he actually at the end of the year, when you do the numbers, that guy that was just consistent throughout the whole year outpaces the guy that just comes in for just a couple great weeks and then disappears, run out of money, comes right back, gets money, and kind of that inconsistency, I think, definitely impacts that money.
Yeah, and I think that inconsistency is very, very short-lived because a lot of times I see those trucks slightly under-maintained or significantly under-maintained, and that just starts adding up to the cost of doing business.
Right, because I think they prioritized that time off and getting enough to do that than prioritizing the truck. Like here, in my opinion, the bottom line is your number one, objective is to have a sound, reliable truck to work with. That is the bread and butter of your business.
Yeah, that's your tool.
Yeah, that's your tool to make money.
All right, so what expenses do dreamers ignore that always come back to kill them later?
Man, we've been all over this in this whole conversation, right? I think maintenance. Man, they I don't know why they treat it as that redheaded stepchild, and like they always try to prolong it, and I'll do it later, and now what something could have been so simple becomes a bigger problem later on. I mean, how many times have we seen, guys come in for the orientation and, the truck doesn't even pass DOT inspection. So you've been running around like that, and now you got these issues with your truck, and you're showing up to orientation like that. The concerning part is where's the priorities. It's not even that they're expensive things, but done properly, it's manageable. It only becomes a problem when now that thing is 2-3 times the price because you get put out of service for it. And the cop's an asshole. But you could have took care of that on your off time.
Yeah, I would say it's about 50-50 between the maintenance and work ethic. Because I see a lot of owner-operators, we take one of their top weeks, and we set that number as a standard in their head, not in their books, in their head. Like, this is how much I can make. And now we live and plan their life and business based on that number, but then we rarely have a full week worth of work. And now everything is split in half weeks. We go out on Tuesday, come back on Thursday, and then or sometimes we hit the road on Wednesday and stay on the road until next Thursday. And in their head, we're killing it, but at the end of the day, that's 2 weeks worth of work. And now if we divide it, there is nothing left, but all your fixed expenses are still there. Yeah. So I think that does share the cake with maintenance for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Why do some owner-operators refuse to understand cash flow and pay the price?
I actually think that they misunderstand the word freedom, and a lot of people get into this for the freedom of it, right? And the misunderstanding is that you actually have a lot more responsibilities. The freedom that this is talking about is if you are that consistent, determined individual week after week after week after week, right? Everything starts to fall into the place that there's money for the maintenance, there's money for that. And so 3-4 years of that gives you that ability then and only then to have a little bit more freedom because everything is in line. People want to fast forward to that position like week 2. There's not enough work put there, there's not enough work under your belt in order to have that. You're still on borrowed money because you still have to recoup the money you put down on insurance, on your truck, the maintenance that's going to come with the truck, especially if it's a used truck. Even though it's new to you, it's a used truck that's going to need a little bit of love. And so you're not going to make any money for the first 2-3 years. So, they'll be positive, but remember, you're coming from a negative place because you dropped all this cash in order to get some, to buy your product. So I think it's pretty much that. I think they misunderstand freedom. They think it's about, I get to choose when I go out. No, your truck decides when you go out because it has needs.
No, your business.
Yeah, your business.
That's a business. It's not like it's not a gig, because if you treat it as a gig, it's just a gig. It's not a business. But if you treat it as business needs to be open for business. It needs to have aspirations to grow. It needs to have goals, and you are in charge. So you got to go and achieve them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
So what's the most dangerous phrase you hear related to money?
I hear, because money isn't everything, it's a balance. In business, you're only solving these problems with money. When have you ever bought, who gave you a tire because you gave him a hug? right? To my point. So here we go. Like, your business needs cash flow to survive. Do not get that twisted. This is like any other business. It's going to have bills. It's going to require cash flow, and it is just that.
And also, look, if you have even if you have a blowout, and let's say you have a title to your truck, but you don't have no couple $100 to replace that tire on the road. That's it. That's a dead end.
Yeah. So and then that's my point. I'm not saying you should not have a balance. I am just saying, don't misunderstand that it takes money to run your business, and you have to do, as the owner, whatever it takes to keep your business open if you're serious about it, if you're in this for the long run.
All right, guys, if you want to learn more about what it takes to become a successful owner-operator and stay successful, give us a call, 863-342-5171. We are a 100% owner-operator trucking company based out of Mulberry, Florida, just a few miles south of Lakeland. Have any questions? Give us a call. Please like, share, subscribe. Share it with people that could benefit off this information, and be safe out there.
Be good, guys.
Operators looking for the best business owner opportunity, look no further. I got all the programs that are going to make you successful. Everything to operating from 2 different fuel cards, top of the line trailers with a maintenance program that is unbeatable, to plates, insurance, you name it, we got it. All you got to do is give us a call, 863-342-5171. Learn more and get started.